Imagine this. Two people are looking at the same market. One sees problems, confusion, and risk. The other sees opportunity, profit, and growth. The difference is not luck. It is the ability to identify profitable business opportunities. In today's fast-changing world, opportunities are everywhere, but not all opportunities are profitable. The real skill is knowing how to spot the right one before everyone else does. So, how do you identify a profitable business opportunity? Let's break it down step by step. The first step is identifying real problems. Every profitable business solves a problem. The bigger and more urgent the problem, the greater the opportunity. Instead of asking, "What business should I start?" ask, "What problems do people face every day?" Look around your environment. What frustrates people? What takes too long? What is too expensive? What is inefficient? Let's take a real-world example. Before companies like Uber existed, getting a taxi in many cities was difficult. Long wait times, inconsistent pricing, and poor customer experience were common problems. Uber did not invent transportation. They solved a clear, everyday problem in a better way. That is where profit begins. The second step is validating demand. Not every problem is worth solving from a business perspective. A profitable opportunity must have enough people willing to pay for the solution. You need to ask, are people already spending money to solve this problem? If yes, that is a strong signal of demand. For example, think about bottled water. Water is free in many places, yet people still buy bottled water because of convenience and perceived quality. The presence of existing spending shows a validated market. You can validate demand by observing competitors, checking online marketplaces, or even talking directly to potential customers. The third step is identifying gaps in the market. A gap is where existing solutions are either insufficient, too expensive, too slow, or poorly delivered. This is where innovation happens. Let's look at Netflix. Before Netflix, people rented movies from physical stores like Blockbuster. The process was inconvenient, late fees were frustrating, and availability was limited. Netflix identified the gap and introduced a more convenient model, first through mail delivery and later through streaming. They did not create demand for entertainment. They improved how it was delivered. The fourth step is evaluating profitability. An opportunity is not truly valuable unless it can generate profit. You need to consider three key things: cost, pricing, and scalability. How much will it cost to deliver your product or service? How much are customers willing to pay? And can you scale the business without your costs increasing at the same rate? For example, digital products like online courses or software have high scalability. Once created, they can be sold repeatedly with minimal additional cost. This is why many digital businesses are highly profitable. On the other hand, a service that requires your time for every transaction may be harder to scale unless you build systems or a team. The fifth step is leveraging trends. Opportunities often exist where trends are emerging. Technology, consumer behavior, and global events constantly create new needs. For example, during the rise of remote work, there was a surge in demand for collaboration tools, home office equipment, and online learning platforms. Businesses that quickly recognized this trend were able to capture massive value. To identify trends, pay attention to what is changing. What are people talking about? What new technologies are gaining adoption? What industries are growing? The sixth step is assessing your unique advantage. Not every opportunity is right for you. A profitable opportunity becomes even more powerful when it aligns with your skills, experience, or network. Ask yourself, what do I know that others don't? Or what access do I have that others may not? For example, Someone with experience in education technology may identify opportunities in online learning faster than someone without that background. Your advantage allows you to execute better and faster. Now let's bring this together with a simple case study. Consider a young entrepreneur who noticed that small businesses struggled to create training materials for their staff. The process was time-consuming, expensive, and required technical expertise. He identified the problem. He observed that companies were already spending money on training. He noticed a gap. There were tools, but they were either too complex or too slow. He evaluated profitability and realized that a software platform could scale. He also saw a trend. Businesses were moving toward digital learning. Using his background in technology and learning systems, he built a platform that converts documents into interactive training courses quickly. That is how a profitable opportunity is identified and executed. Finally, let's talk about action. Many people see opportunities, but few act on them. The difference is execution. Start small. Test your idea. Get feedback. Improve quickly. You do not need a perfect plan to begin. You need clarity, validation, and the willingness to take the first step. In summary, identifying profitable business opportunities comes down to 6 key principles. Find real problems. Validate demand. Identify gaps. Evaluate profitability. Leverage trends and align with your unique advantage. When you combine these elements, you move from guessing to strategic thinking. So the next time you look at a challenge, do not just see a problem. See the opportunity behind it. Because every successful business you see today started with someone who saw what others ignored and decided to act.